Hey YouTubers, this is the old guy doing things here, and if you're 80 years old plus and you decided to put together a PC for your use, this may be of some help. If you're somebody who works in this field all the time and builds them, probably it won't help. This video wouldn't help you a bit. What I've done is I built this PC that we're looking at in 2011, and I used an Asus motherboard, which was state of the art at the time, and a video card, a low-end video card, and equipped it basically for business use, but where it had expansion capability. And it actually has lasted me since 2011, but it's running out of expansion and upgrade capability, and also it does not run Windows 11 anymore. So in the last month or so, what I've done is I put together the pieces to build this machine here to replace it. If you notice, it's a lot simpler on the inside, and use the same strategy, used a motherboard that had a good expansion capability into the future, and hopefully it'll last me for a few years more. And so what I wanted to do is show you the parts I used and why I used them. And we'll start with the first decision we have to make is the motherboard. And I used a full form factor motherboard because from a price and performance standpoint, it was actually better than the smaller motherboards. And this particular motherboard has most of the state-of-the-art features in it that the absolute high-end motherboards do for a couple $100 less. So I think this will serve me pretty well. After choosing the motherboard or the type of motherboard, then I had to choose the processor I wanted to use. And in this one, I went back and I chose it's an Intel processor, but it's the K model, the 12600K, and the K indicates that it has video capability built into it. So no video card is required. For me and my use, that's fine because it's basically a business use machine. Also, it's 12th generation rather than 14th generation. So the price point was extremely good. So if you look at the performance of these particular processors, you may not have to go with the absolute latest model on it to get the performance that you need. So after we choose the processor and the motherboard, then I decided I had to look at which case to get. And I decided on this Corsair case, the 4000D airflow case. There were just many cases available. This particular case seemed to be extremely popular, and it was around $100. So I felt it was a very good value, and it's a mid-size case. So it's a pretty nice case, and it came with a couple of fans and a glass front that goes on it as well. So then at that point, we started looking at the internal parts that go into the machine. And the M2 drives that it uses, I selected the Samsung drives, and I used the 990 Pro as my boot drive, a 1 terabyte drive, and a 990 EVO as the storage drive. And the reason I went with these is that I like the Samsung disk management software. A lot of people don't, but I decided to standardize so that I could manage all the disk drives using one piece of software. Been happy with it in my old machine, and I'm happy with it in the new machine. In terms of the memory, I actually went with the DDR5 Crucial memory, and I put in 64 gigabytes. There's no way in the world I actually need 64 gigabytes, but the price between 32, which I thought was minimum, and 64 was only like $20 or $25. So I just simply could not resist that. The next thing I did is I looked at, move this box out of the way. I looked at the air cooler, and rather than just get the stock cooler, I looked at all of these different air, and I did not want a water cooler, didn't need that. I evaluated and looked at performance of all these different air coolers and chose this Phantom Spirit, which is a pretty nice cooler, and it has two fans in it. And the fans blow out in the direction where it's picked up. What comes out of the cooler is picked up by an external case fan, and it pulls the heat out of the case. And I just have to point out too, you see these little colored fans here? I couldn't resist it. I went ahead and bought a couple of them because they really look cool. I really hadn't planned on doing that, but they really are doing well, because I needed a couple of additional fans, and so I got these right here. They're the Thermalright, the same people that build the case, the TLS12, and they're reasonably priced. Performance seems to be pretty good on them, and so that's working out pretty well so far. When it comes to the power supply, I went with it's Corsair brand again. I've used them in the past, and I've been real happy with them. I think I could have gotten by with a smaller power supply, but the 750 watts seems to be pretty much the standard these days, so I went ahead and went with that. The thing that was different about this is this one has the side connectors. The connectors come out the side, so on the back side of the case, it makes it significantly easier to actually wire the power supply and wire it to all the components. Much easier to manage in this with the cables coming out the side. So you might want to take a look at that. And then I also bought just a $25 keyboard and mouse setup, because I didn't have an extra one around that I wanted to use. So that pretty well explains what I put together. And just to kind of give you an idea on it here of the cost, the one that I built, the one that I just finished building here, cost $1,204 without the monitor. And my 2011 build, with the performance improvements that I put on it over the years, added up to $1,335. So the level of performance significantly better, form factor size better, and gives me probably another 10 years of capability. Hopefully I can use it for another 10 years. And so anyway, just thought I'd show you that just in case it may have any value for you whatsoever. Have a good day. Bye.